Most men go through life thinking they need to impress women with money, looks, or charm. They spend years chasing status, sculpting the perfect body, rehearsing clever lines. But what if I told you something different, something rarely spoken about? What if the real key to attraction isn't what you show, but what you understand? Not just about her, but about her mind. Because inside every woman, there are psychological triggers, hidden weaknesses. She may not even be aware of herself. And once you know what they are, you'll never see relationships the same way again. Let's dive deep into the 10 hidden female weaknesses. Psychological truths that, when mastered, will change how you interact with women forever. When the power of emotional certainty. Women are highly emotional creatures, but that doesn't mean they're irrational. It means their emotions guide much of their decision-making, especially in relationships. And here's the first hidden weakness. A woman has a deep, almost primal need for emotional certainty. She doesn't just want passion or fireworks or thrill. She wants something quieter, deeper, more rare. She wants to feel safe emotionally. Safe knowing that the man she's with won't collapse under pressure. Safe knowing he won't disappear the moment things get hard. This is why women are subconsciously drawn to men who remain emotionally unshaken. Not men who scream strength, but men who embody it silently. A man who exudes calmness even in chaos. Who doesn't yell when he's angry. Who doesn't spiral when life throws a punch. Who holds the storm instead of becoming it. But here's where most men go wrong. A man who's overly reactive, moody, or emotionally dependent on her. That doesn't feel like love. That feels like a burden. Why? Because it signals weakness. When a woman senses that a man can't handle his own emotions, her mind, often without her knowing, flips the switch. She's no longer the nurtured. Now she's the one stabilizing him. And that dynamic? It kills attraction fast. So what do you do instead? You embrace stoic confidence. You become the calm in the storm. When she's upset, you remain steady. When life tests you, you respond, not react. When uncertainty hits, you ground yourself and her with quiet strength. Because when a woman finds a man who gives her emotional certainty, she sees him as something sacred. A refuge, a rare place where she can surrender her own guard. That's what makes her fall and keep falling. 2. Women are drawn to what they can't have. Here's a bitter truth about human nature. We value what is scarce. Why do people line up for hours to buy a limited sneaker drop or spend fortunes on diamonds? Because not everyone can have them. Women operate on this exact principle when it comes to men. And that's where another hidden weakness lies. She's drawn to the man she can't fully have. When a man is too available, too eager, or always chasing her, he may win her attention, but rarely her desire. Why? Because in her subconscious, his availability makes him common. She may appreciate the compliments. She may enjoy the kindness, but she won't chase what's already hers. Now flip the script. The men who are mysterious, who are unpredictable, who give just enough but never too much. They activate something deep inside her, a psychological itch she has to scratch. Why do you think women obsess over the guy who doesn't text back right away, or the man who never quite reveals what he's thinking? It's not because she likes games. It's because her subconscious assigns higher value to uncertainty. So how do you use this truth? Simple. Don't always be available. Let her wonder when she'll hear from you again. Don't reveal everything in the first week. Make her earn your depth. Live your life first, then invite her into it. And most importantly, keep a part of yourself just out of reach. Because once a woman feels like she's completely won you, her interest begins to fade. But if there's always one door she hasn't opened, she'll never stop trying to find the key. 3. The unspoken influence of deep voice and presence. There's something you've likely overlooked. The quiet power of a deep, controlled voice. No gimmicks, no pickup lines, just tone, just presence. Studies have proven this again and again. Men with deeper voices are perceived as more dominant, more confident, and more attractive. But this isn't about sounding like a movie villain. It's biological. A deep voice signals high testosterone, leadership potential, and calm authority, qualities that evolutionarily signal protection and status, and women are wired to respond to them. But it doesn't stop with your voice. It's your entire presence. The man who commands a room without raising his voice, who walks like he has somewhere to be, even if he's not in a rush, who makes eye contact without blinking nervously, who speaks slowly as if every word is chosen. That man has presence, and that presence makes women feel something they can't explain. But here's the flip side: slouched posture, rapid speech, shaky hands, uncertain words. Those signal insecurity, and even if you don't realize you're doing them, she does. So here's your new mission. Before you say anything, master your energy. Control your breath, straighten your spine, and let your words land like they matter, because they do. Because when a man's presence speaks louder than his words, he becomes unforgettable, long after the conversation ends. 4. Women can't resist a man who walks away. Want to trigger a woman's deepest fear? Walk away like you don't need her. Sounds harsh. It's not. It's psychological truth. One of the greatest hidden weaknesses women have is their emotional reaction to loss. It's simple. We value most what we fear losing. But here's the tragedy. Most men do the exact opposite when things start to go wrong. They sense she's pulling away, and suddenly they become desperate. They chase. They over-explain. They start texting paragraphs, apologizing for things they didn't do, trying to fix everything with words. But what does that really say? It says, I need you more than you need me. My worth depends on your acceptance. I will tolerate anything, just don't leave. And once a woman senses that imbalance, the dynamic collapses. Because she no longer sees you as the man who could walk away. She sees you as the man who will crawl back. But if you're a man who can walk away without hesitation, you flip the script. You communicate something powerful without saying a single word. You say, I'm not desperate. I have standards. My self-worth is intact. And if you don't respect me, I'll leave without flinching. And that mindset, it drives women crazy. Why? Because it shows you're a man with options, a man with spine, a man who won't sacrifice his dignity for attention. So remember this, it's not manipulation, it's self-respect. You're not punishing her, you're honoring you. And the rule is simple, be willing to walk away and you'll never have to chase. 5. A man with a mission is her kryptonite. A woman's biggest weakness isn't a man's looks, it's not his money, and it's not even his charm, it's his purpose. A man who wakes up with fire in his eyes, chasing a dream, building an empire, conquering a goal, automatically becomes magnetic. Why? Because purpose creates focus. Purpose breeds confidence. Purpose whispers, this man is going somewhere. And women can't resist following a man who's already in motion. But most men, they make the fatal mistake of making the woman their mission. They drop everything for her. They reply instantly. They skip workouts, abandon goals, put her on a pedestal until she becomes their everything. And at first, she might feel special, but soon she starts to feel suffocated. Because women don't want to be the center of your world. They want to be part of a world worth entering. A man with a mission is too busy to wait for her text, too focused to obsess over her replies. He's chasing something greater, and that is what pulls her in. So ask yourself, what are you building? What legacy are you creating? If your life has no mission, your attraction has no gravity. Women can sense a man without direction, and they drift away. But if your life is on fire with purpose, she'll want to stand close, just to feel the warmth. 6. The paradox of controlled vulnerability.